What is going on, Guardians? Hey, this here is just going to be a free video, unmonetized, nothing like that. So one of the things I just wanted to do is kind of share some of my thoughts on the direction of the Crucible, and one of the major ideas that I had for sort of keeping it fresh, keeping it enjoyable, and keeping it, most importantly, rewarding. And so I'm going to show you just some gameplay, but I'm going to talk over it, and feel free to give me some feedback. Let me know what some of your thoughts might be on some of these things. But essentially, here's the thing. I would like to see a system that's similar to a lot of other shooters, where a lot of other shooters will have these lists of challenges, sort of things that you can complete at your own pace, whenever you want to. And as you complete them, you get tiered rewards for sort of the degrees to which you complete them, depending on, 25 headshots with X weapon type, 50 headshots, 100 headshot kills, etc., etc. So I think it would be great, because the grind isn't necessarily a bad thing if both the process and the completion are both rewarding. If those are both rewarding, then the grind is actually a great way to keep people engaged, as long as they feel well compensated for their time invested in the Crucible. So when I say challenges, I mean things that are maybe weapon specific, like pulse rifle headshots, maybe foundry specific in terms of getting Omlon kills, Suros kills, kill streaks with only Suros weapons equipped. If you had playlist specific challenges, get X number of salvage relic disarms, for example, capture X number of control points in the control playlist, capture B, the most contested point, right? Capture the B point 100 times. As you complete these tiered challenges, you would then unlock rewards. And the thing about the rewards is that they need to be both tiered and instant rewards. So for example, for the lowest tier, you might get an instant XP boost for all the equipped items that you have, maybe at the very least a blue engram, maybe even a legendary for the next tier. And then as you progress down through those tiers until you get to the most complicated, tedious ones, you can get things like emblems. Let's be honest, emblems are probably really easy to create. In terms of all the other things in the game, emblems as rewards are probably a good thing, because those take a little, very little effort to create. But then at the same time, it's something that's going to further identify you and separate you from the rest of the people. Maybe for some of the most top tier challenges, have things like shaders, maybe even armor. It could be armor that's, you keep it simple, reskin current Crucible armor, but have the perks that come on them be applicable to the challenge that you completed. For example, if it was a salvage, the greatest tier of a salvage challenge that you completed, then maybe it's gauntlets that have faster disarm time for the relic. If you are disarming the relic, it takes you maybe a full second less time. Something that's specific to the challenge. It could be for something that's maybe scout rifle specific. If you completed the highest tier of a scout rifle challenge, maybe headshots or whatever, then maybe you get gauntlets that have additional ammo capacity and reload speed. You don't have to worry about getting the right roll on something. Maybe if you did something that was foundry specific, like Omlon weapons, then maybe you get gauntlets that have reload speed increased for all Omlon weapons. So if you had an Omlon primary, secondary, and heavy, you get increased reload speed across all those if they're all Omlon. But then that's further going to differentiate you. So the question is, why would you do a sort of tiered reward system like that? Individuality and identity are crucial in these types of games. Things that sort of immediately and visually set you apart are really important. So for example, you see a guy who's maybe he's wearing a specific shader that's red and white, and you identify it, and you say, oh, that dude's got to be, he's like a medic, dude. He's going to be getting revives, because he has to have at least 2,000 revives to get that shader. Or you see a guy who has a class mark that has, it's a warlock bond that projects a hologram of the Suros. It kind of looks like an R shape, hologram projected on his arm piece. Then for example, that he has maybe 105 kill streaks with only Suros weapons equipped. And so things like that will immediately give you identity, set you apart, so people, when they see you, they recognize something that's different about you, something that characterizes you and your gameplay and the things that you've done and accomplished in this game, which is something that they said was going to be a major part of this game. And is, but not to the extent I think it could be, especially when it comes to the Crucible, because the Crucible is probably one of the least rewarding activities out there right now. And I mean that by, I mean, sure, they introduced some of these new bounty systems and whatnot, but it's not, there's not a lot of variety there. You know what I mean? So ultimately, replayability happens when continuing to play means being properly rewarded. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. That's just one way that could introduce a little bit more variety in the game. It's also going to force people to play a specific playstyle and use specific weapons. It'll change up the meta because people will be trying to get specific rewards. And the thing is, the rewards need to be previewable so that people are properly incentivized. So they see the shader and they think, dang, I want that. I want to get my hands on that. So they do what they have to do to get it. And if that means playing opposite of the meta, instead of using their pulse rifles, they're going to be trying to rack up hand cannon headshots or scout rifle headshots or kill streaks with certain weapon types, whatever it may be, then that's great. It's introducing variety. It's introducing rewards that are tiered, that are instant for completion, and it's introducing more identity and differentiating you as a character and as a player from everyone else. So those are just some of my thoughts. Feel free to leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Some ways that they could introduce some variety into the Crucible. Keep replayability high, because at this point we're seeing people are starting to branch out, experience different games. Not that that's a bad thing, but we certainly want to see, if Destiny is a 10-year plan, then there are some changes that have to happen in order to make it rewarding and to set you apart as a gamer, because identity is one of the things that keeps people playing games, because as they progress through the game, they're getting more and more unique, and that's definitely what you got to have, especially in a PvP shooter. So just some of my thoughts. Leave some feedback. Let me know, what do you think? Thanks guys for listening.